All right, Scott, we're going to go ahead and look at a few videos here, starting off the squat. Box squat looks good. As you mentioned before, only thing I want to do here is just get that box a little bit lower. I'm talking like an inch or two lower would be great, but besides that, it's looking very good in terms of the actual movement. The deadlift's looking good as well. Actually surprised how good these look. These look great. Nice progression here. No forward motion, nothing of that nature. Looks very good. Very nice. Yeah, no issues here that I'm noticing. One of the big things I'm noticing with the bench press is that when we brace, so I really like to use the bench press as a way of determining how somebody engages the musculature in their abdominals, how they brace. The reason why is because your breathing and bracing is on display in the bench press. You're in extended position. This is like the center piece of you. So it's very easy to see how somebody's breathing and bracing. Now, one of the biggest faults that someone can have in breathing and bracing is not bracing effectively. Okay, so the whole equation, total equation of a brace, 85% of its musculature, last 10 to 15% is air. If somebody breathes incorrectly, that can have some pretty serious downsides to it, of course, and we've talked about those in the past. But at the same time, a new issue that I haven't talked to you about is actually bracing muscularly incorrectly. What I'm talking about here is as we breathe, if we get a good breath in and fill up diaphragmatically, when you go to brace, we should be pressing down on the cylinder and keep that belly as you do so. You should see that belly be created and then keep it, excuse me, as you brace onto it, or pressing down on that cylinder of air. But, however, once you see somebody's belly button go in and that belly go away, as they actually brace, you're no longer pressing down that cylinder. You're no longer creating IEP. Now you are just not bracing nearly to your fullest extent. It usually looks something like this. That we don't want to see. We do not want to see sucking in. Instead, we should always see this here where it doesn't suck in. Instead, we just push down on it. Okay, we're creating outward drive. We're pressing down that cylinder. It should stay there. Whenever you see somebody suck in real hard, that's always an indicator of we need to work on that breathing and bracing. So if we look very carefully at these videos here in the bench press, one thing I want you to notice is this area here. That's what I'm noticing here. So watch it once more. You'll notice you take a small breath. We could definitely take a bigger one. And then we suck in as we go to brace instead of creating IEP and pressing down that cylinder. Watch this once more. Watch the breath. Watch the brace. You'll notice it goes in every single time. Just like that. So every single time it's going here, and then here, as you brace, we're sucking in, we're pulling that belly button in, which is the exact opposite of what we need to do to maximally create stability, power transfer, and everything else we need to do with bracing in the bench press. So again, just to recap, I want you to spend a little extra time breathing into your brace. I want you to go ahead and breathe a little bit more in general. And then as you brace, we're drawing down those rib cage, but we're not losing that belly. I shouldn't see that belly button get tucked in. I shouldn't see you lose that belly that you create through a proper breath. So I want you to breathe a little bit more and focus on drawing down that rib cage on top of the air rather than sucking in your belly button and sucking in as you brace, which is a fault that will cost you weight on the bar, stability, and possibly even an injury. So I really want to work on that breathing and bracing. Again, it's going to help your bench press a lot. It's going to help that leg drive actually go in the implement. It's going to help whole body stability. It's going to help a lot of different things, neurological drive, a lot of different things that will be very beneficial for you. With the push press, there's a few reps that were just about perfect. There was a few reps where we had a little bit of a fault going on. So let's go ahead and look at these real quick. Let's look at the first one. First one looked pretty good. Not a whole lot of issues I'm noticing. Second one looked good as well. Third one, we had a little bit of an issue here. I want you to watch the bar path. Watch the cap of this barbell. Watch where the barbell goes as you go to produce force. The number one thing you're going to notice is you have this massive sticking point right about here. The reason you have that massive sticking point is because oftentimes when individuals try to dip down and explode really quickly, they go here. They do it in two parts. They have forward motion, and then they have to overcome that forward motion and drive back, which ends up including faulty mechanics and just not the best way to overhead press. You're going to find it a lot more successful if we can drive straight up and back from the very start. The sooner we can do that, the better your press is going to be. And right now we have a little bit of forward motion every once in a while in some of our reps. So I really want you to focus on doing is as you dip down, make sure we are driving back. As we do so, we're tucking our head back and we're really focusing on driving straight up and back rather than going up and then this way. If we watch that rep once more very closely, you'll notice what I'm talking about here. If we compare it to the first two, this third one just had some issues. Watch it once more. You'll notice, and again, it's hard to see because I can't slow this down. It was very quick, but you'll notice that it was a lot slower once you got to here because it was here, and then it was like, oh shit, got to get it back now, which made it have a massive sticking point there. So you'll be able to handle more load if you make sure every single rep we're really focused on just driving straight up and back rather than letting that happen. Realistically, everything else about this looks very good. I like the way it looks quite a bit. Let's continue hammering away at this. I think it's going to end up with some nice carryover to your bench press. So as far as lifts go for this week, this is the one I want to focus on the most. And by focus on the most, I mean I want you to send me lots of videos of this next week. I want to get a few videos from the side, 1 or 2 videos from the side for your normal squat sets, and 1 or 2 videos from directly in the front. And that'll be sufficient for now, I believe. But one of the biggest things I'm noticing, I mean, right off the bat, I'm noticing we got to fix this. This is not going to be a position where you'll be able to squat as much weight as you otherwise could. We got to go from here to here. We got to get in a better upper body position. The ability to engage your lats and create good upper body tension is very minimal when we have our elbows that far pitched out. We're kind of at the breaking point of when you get to a certain degree of pitched out, your ability to do those things has to be diminished at a certain point. So we have to improve your upper body position, but in doing so, we're going to have to include some mobility drills beforehand to help with it and external rotation of the shoulder. Now, with that being said, wall angel is the most obvious answer here. So I want to see your wall angel next week too. In terms of pre-squat mobility work for better squat position, a little bit of tissue work to the pectoralis major and shoulder, this connecting point right here, that's great, especially if we add some movement as we're doing that tissue work. Wall angels are legitimately the best thing you can do, but they have to be done perfectly, so I really want to see you do those. Band snatches are pretty good. You can also do certain static stretches, but we have to put some more attention into this because right now this is one of the biggest things for your squat. But there's something I'm more concerned with here looking at these reps. Watch where the barbell is set up at the top. Watch what happens as we descend. Did you see that there? Let's watch it once more. It's happening on the way up. I didn't mean the way down. I meant the way up. A little bit on the way down, but watch that. That's massive. That's a lot of movement with the barbell to one side on the way up. We're having a torsional movement that we definitely do not want happening on the way up. Now, unfortunately, I can't see what is causing it for sure in this angle. Partially because plates are in the way, partially because I don't know what side you're leaning. I don't know exactly what's happening, which is why I need more squat angles. Sometimes this issue is caused by hip immobility. Sometimes it happens because of tibial rotation issues on one side, not the other. And sometimes it happens because we're not inflating properly with one side of our obliques as we take a breath in, which makes it so that one side's stabilized, one side's not, which causes this twisting. There's a lot of things that could be. So providing me more videos is going to be very helpful for next week. Lots of squat videos, please, because I really want to work on this. If this continues, then it's going to be a real issue here. But I hope you see what I'm talking about. You'll notice giant transition back with the barbell. Basically, this side of the barbell is flaring forward, and this side's going back in a pretty major way. So we really got to work on that. we can't let that continue to happen. It's going to very much decrease your ability to squat. So that's kind of the biggest thing right now. Upper body position needs to improve, but also right now we're having a torsional motion as you come up. Also, hips are raising a little bit faster than than anything else coming out of the hole. So we have a few different issues that are happening here. Extension, from what I can see, not taking place to any degree. We're just having a little bit of hips rising first coming out of the hole, just a little bit. But the main issues in order, the main things I want to take care of. First and foremost is going to be upper body position. Got to get better. Absolutely got to get better. So I want you to send me what you currently normally do before your squats to warm up next week. I want you to send me whatever do you do. Hopefully you're doing wall angel, and if you're not, please videotape yourself doing a wall angel. But wall angel, band snatch, just videotape what you normally do, because we need to start making some improvements towards that to help the efficiency of your squat. Second thing is we got to get rid of this torsional motion that you're currently going for. Sending me more videos will help me to identify why exactly it's happening. And then lastly is going to be the little bit of motion that's coming up, or hips rising first out of the hole. But again, I think that getting in a better upper body position and getting rid of the torsional motion will fix that. So I think there's kind of ending up in a downward spiral based on the first few issues that I described. So yeah, so the squat, I definitely want to put some extra attention into next week. Send me lots of videos. Just to recap, I want to see lots of videos of your squat, multiple angles. I want to see some your wall angels and whatever the hell you do to warm up for the squat, so we can make some adjustments to it and better it. With the dip, just a few small suggestions here. One, let's go ahead and increase range of motion just a little bit. I want you to destroy 90 degrees. Right now we're going down to exactly to it. Then coming up, I want to destroy it. I want to get quite a bit below it. Now the one exception to this is if you're having some anterior delt pain or something along those lines because of this, then obviously limiting range of motion is completely fine, but hypertrophic effects will be a lot better if we go a little bit deeper, and I think I'll have a little better carryover to bench press as well. But that's kind of the one thing I want to throw in here. Also, I really want to focus on progressing load here throughout the weeks to come and really hitting some heavy numbers there. Last video we're going to look at is going to be the Zercher squat. Let's go ahead and change the angle a little bit. The plates are in the way of mostly everything, so let's definitely change the angle of this a little bit. Let's get a little bit more out in front of you and a little bit further away. That should be perfect. But yeah, not a whole lot of things I'm noticing here. We just want to stay as upright as possible, which we're still struggling with that just a little bit, but not the biggest deal in the world. All right, so I think that's about it for this week. Be sure to send me all the videos I requested. The last thing I have to say to you is something that's going to help you a ton when it comes to the check-in process and the process of these kinds of things in general. Efficiency is key. If you can take 5 minutes a week versus 10 minutes a week, that time adds up. That time adds up in some major ways. And I'm going to give you a suggestion I want you to do moving forward, need you to do moving forward. That's going to help you save. That's going to save you a lot of time, and also give me a better opportunity to review your videos better, as well as help me with efficiency as well, but mainly you. It's going to help you in a major way. Obviously, right now, you are copying and pasting. So if I ask for 20 videos, you're going to copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, all 20 times. It's cumbersome. It takes a long time, and I'd rather not do it if we didn't have to. So to make this 10 times easier, let's go ahead and just use one link. Copy, paste one link, you're done. So fucking simple, so easy. Let's go ahead and start doing that instead. Now, first question is, how do I do that? Make a YouTube page. Make a YouTube page. It'll take a few more minutes next week up front doing it, but it'll save you. It'll take half the time moving forward. It'll end up saving you time within a few weeks and even more time throughout time. So yeah, make a YouTube page. Create a playlist. And it's super easy. Like this, it takes less than 10 minutes to do this. Super fucking easy. Create a playlist, and then just post all of your videos for the week on that playlist. A few benefits that will come from this. My play and pause and seeing features of the video will get a lot better, and that'll help me out a lot. 2, you'll save a shit ton of time not having to copy and paste 20 things. And then 3, probably the biggest, is that we'll easily be able to go back in time and see prior videos to see how things have progressed. So for example, if we wanted to see a video from 4 months ago right now, I might be able to find it in our emails if I really worked for it and I really spent a lot of time looking it up. And in fact, it probably wouldn't be worth it. I'm not sure if I can find it. But if you posted it on your YouTube playlist 4 months ago, you can find like that. It'll keep all of your videos. It'll keep the date. It'll keep everything about it. Makes it super simple. So in terms of my visual playback features, it's going to help me a lot. It's going to help you save a lot of time. And then lastly, it's going to help us actually keep a library, a record of all your videos that you've been doing, which will also be very helpful. So let's do that moving forward. Just create a YouTube page, create a playlist, post all the videos on the playlist, send me a link to the playlist. Easy. And then from now on, all you have to do is copy and paste one link. Super simple. One last thing to note there, do not post those videos on private. I'm going to say that right now, because for some reason, YouTube's default setting is to set them to private. So as you're posting them, it'll say privacy setting or something like that. It'll be unsolicited, private, and public. Pick one of the other two. Don't pick private. I think that's about it. Let me know if you have any questions. Stay safe out there.